Hello and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Huddle. As always, I'm your host, Maya Perez, and we're going to talk some sports. For those who have been living under a rock, the men's USA hockey team just beat the Canadian hockey team at the Olympics. This was the first time the Olympic men's hockey gold for the United States since 1980. That's 46 years. Well, it's probably important to mention that this USA-Canada matchup has been a rivalry for many years. They've actually competed 19 times in the Olympics, and Canada has won 12 of those. But that's enough for me. Let's skate on over to Kyle, Nate, and Justin, who woke up super early to watch the 5 a.m. game.
Thanks, Maya. 46 years. You heard that right. 46 years since USA last won gold at the Olympics in men's hockey. But now we can only say a couple days ago as USA beats Canada 2-1 in overtime. And boys, I mean, if you're a hockey fan, it is just the best game you could have possibly watched.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And you had talent on talent. You had arguably the best team in Canada versus, in my opinion, the most gritty team in the USA. And that is worth waking up at 5:10 local time here for that game.
Absolutely. I knew that my local Parkway Tavern was so mad to see me walking in, repping my USA stuff, holding my flag, walking in there. But I mean, it's Olympics. It only happens, every 4 years, right?
And with NHL players, it's the last time since 2010 for Team USA.
Of course, yeah. You don't know when this is going to happen again, where USA and Canada, the little bit of rivalry that's going on, both in sports and in politics, that just there was so much writing on this game. And USA did what, I mean, probably even Americans will tell you that was impossible of doing, and that's beating Canada.
Yeah, and I hate to be not like both of you. I woke up at 8 a.m. right when overtime was starting, so I caught the best part.
You missed
the game. You chose Canada, and then you didn't watch the game.
I'm going to wake up on 5 a.m. on a Sunday, bro?
For the gold medal match in the Olympics.
Yes, but we also need to mention that the women's also did capture gold in what was another thrilling game.
Yes.
And the move that won the gold medal was probably one of the nicest goals I've seen in a minute. I mean, and just right by the defender.
Insane.
Hit that L1 plus right stick.
Yeah. And in both games, the U.S. had to overcome a lot. I mean, you look at the men, they were outshot and outpaced and outplayed the first 2 periods. Yes, I know Matt Boldy scored probably one of the most unbelievable goals I think I've seen, but they were getting outclassed in 2 periods, and then finally just something clicked, and then the women able to get a late time game-tying goal courtesy of Hillary Knight and just winning in overtime. Just won the Olympics.
Yeah. Right? It's kind of funny to think that both games ended 2-1 in overtime. Yeah. Like, I mean, the odds of that are a little low. Both USA winning gold, 2-1 in overtime. And I got to say, when we did our predictions last week, I went 2 for 3. I chose USA winning. I chose overtime. I got the score wrong, but hey, 2 or 3 is not.
Hey, you're better than me because I got 0 for 3.
I was gonna say, I had picked Canada originally, but I'm like, I can't pick Canada. I can't.
I will say, to quote one Nathan McKinnon after the game, you watched the whole game. You see who he thought was the better team.
No.
As you said, Canada outshot USA by so much. They had so many opportunities. We got the save from Connor Hellbuck that saved the Olympics. Just stuck his stick out there. Devon Tays, and perfect save. McKinnon, the wide open shot that he's going to see in his nightmares for the rest of his life.
Yeah, at least for the next 4 years. Until Canada wins gold again, he's going, you got to be so angry about that. And the funniest part, though, is not only that, is that after he lost, the handing of the stuffed animals to these guys, Nathan McKinnon wanted to punch that dude square in the jaw.
Like, imagine just you losing arguably one of the biggest games in your career, and you get a stuffed animal as a culmination and a silver medal. Yeah. I'd be pissed.
I'd be so angry.
That stuffed animal would have been, and it would have been fine because just stuffed animal, not going to do much damage. But
just the meaning that has.
Yeah.
But I find it ironic. He said the better team. You can judge. he missed a wide open.
Yeah, that's why he got no sympathy from fans on Twitter and Instagram for saying that.
It's a cesspool of stuff on Twitter and social
Yeah,
media
that was kind of like the worst thing that could happen for a fan of a team is to go onto social media afterwards. Don't get me wrong. After the USA won, my entire feed for the last days have been USA content, USA content. I mean, if you lose that game, it's just like you gotta take a break from social media. The players are already naturally like that, but like as a fan who's already so much in these echo chambers of listening to their teams and stuff, I will say the copium from Canadian fans is huge.
Yeah.
Well, 3-on-3, overtime goal. It shouldn't be 3-on-3. Oh, too many men was missed. Oh, this. Oh, that. But I mean, their goalie got outplayed. Jordan Binnington, though, had a great game, outplayed by Connor Hellebuyck. Connor Hellebuyck won gold for USA.
We talked about it. That was the big point of emphasis because we talked about it. Connor Hellebuyck does not exceed in those close games. And we expected him kind of not to. With a team and the attack and the power play that the Canadians had. USA had killed off every single penalty, and they remained perfect throughout the entirety of the Olympics. When you look at that power play, I mean, at one point there was Celebrini, Reinhart, McDavid, McCarr, and McKinnon. That is like, give or take.
On three U.S. players.
That is
5-on-3.
That is 4 of arguably the top 5 players in the NHL. And the fact that Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller and the defense was absolutely amazing. But it was insane.
Yeah, I will say though, as an American, I'm super glad USA won. As a Chicago Blackhawks fan, you put Bedard on that Team Canada.
Oh my goodness.
He would have. Celebrini had 7 shots in that gold medal game, had 0 of them. Bedard's making at least 1 or 2 of those.
2 breakaways.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Celebrini and McDavid.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about talent that really surprised me, along with Trocheck and along with Miller, which is what I said in our last episode, was that the depth and cycle game, the grittiness that you mentioned of the USA team was going to pull through. But I mean, come on, flowers to Jack Hughes, man.
I was going to, exactly.
I mean, come on. I mean, take 2-3 teeth missing, scores the game winner, poses with the gold medal on his broken teeth. I mean, I think it's going to win Sports Picture of the Year. That is hockey. That is hockey. I mean, back 100 years ago, this is what the founders of this league imagined. That's still holding together.
That's American hockey. You take a look at that post-game press conference, and that is literally just clip any part of that, any word he says, that is American hockey. And I think just the build-up, just the culmination of everything that happened, as you said, a lot riding on this game, but that, I think, the storybook ending for the U.S., obviously 46 years on the exact day, just stuff like that, it just creates an insane storyline.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, we have Team Canada. There was one miscalculation I made when picking Team Canada, and that is the Connor McDavid curse. We saw it literally last year in the playoffs. He wins the Conn Smythe, doesn't go out to hold it, and this year in the Olympics, he won the Olympic MVP, didn't win the title though. So is he cursed just a little bit?
Honestly, it's starting to the point where you got to bring it up. I mean, back-to-back cups, lost. Didn't win anything in juniors. Olympic gold, lost. Is he the new Connor Hellebuyck? Can he not perform in the big games?
It's the perfect segue.
Is he the Josh Allen of the NHL?
Is he the Josh Allen of the NHL? He might just be.
It's the perfect segue to talk about the back half of the NHL regular season because obviously we had the Olympic break, we had all of this happen, and now it's going to be interesting to see what happens because there is multiple teams vying for a playoff spot that maybe have never been there before. I know the Sabres are in one. I know even the Utah Mammoth. Go back to our episode. I predicted the Mammoth to make it to the playoffs.
Are still gonna
he
slip.
didn't. And if they make the playoffs, we are going to riot. We are going to prove Nathan Olson that the Utah Mammoth
If the Utah Mammoth, you weren't there for our discussion, but we debated for a good 10 minutes of hey, who should make the playoffs if the Utah Mammoth are, and I said no. The Kings are folding, but I will say that the next 2 weeks of regular NHL I think it's going to suck.
Well,
Man, how can you go from that high to the low?
It's gonna be kind of eased in because we got the trades are gonna start after that Olympic freeze. Trades are gonna start picking up. I know an announcement today. Mikko Rantanen's gonna be out for another 2 weeks with an injury, and it's gonna be interesting to see kind of as we get back to normalcy. Because as you said, the high, literally the best in the world clashing against each other, and then we got games like the Blackhawks playing against the Sabres or something like that no one really cares that much about.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Yep.
Only time will tell.
Well, we're going to get back to the NHL regular season here. The men's team's going to be at the State of the Union. That's happened a few days ago. That's fun. And now back to regular hockey. On to the playoff push, boys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All righty. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I feel much more knowledgeable on how that 5 a.m. game went. Sounds like the early birds got the worm, wink, wink. But of course, we must move on to a new sport, and that sport is baseball. How amazing is the World Baseball Classic? I know, it's so fun. Just in case you haven't kept up with the baseball world, the opening games for the World Baseball Classic start on March 4th, and the tournament goes all the way through the 17th. I know I'll be tuned in, but Ariel, Jeremiah, and Justin have even more information for you. Guys, what more can you tell us?
That's right, Maya. The best time in baseball, my favorite time in baseball, is back, the World Baseball Classic. And I'm very excited to have Justin and Jeremiah join me today to talk about it. How excited are you guys for this tournament?
Oh, I am so excited for the WBC this year. It's been 3 long years since the last one where Team USA just barely lost to Team Japan after Shohei Ohtani struck out his teammate at the time, Mike Trout. And it's been crazy. I want to introduce you guys a little nuance. Tariq Skubal for Team USA, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. He's only going to pitch 1 game for Team USA before returning to the Tigers for spring training. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, well, we talked about it yesterday a little bit.
On our new podcast, the Rounding Third Podcast, exclusively on Spotify on Rebel Sportsnet. Rounding Third Podcast with me and Jeremiah.
Yep. But yeah, what I was saying yesterday is how it's kind of a good thing but a bad thing. And we mentioned because his contract's coming to an end. This is his last season, possibly with the Tigers. So him not having a full arm all season and him maybe overthrowing during the WBC might become an issue for him. So I think him just playing 1 game just to put on for the U.S. is good overall because last season he had a tremendous season, great overall season. So I think that him playing only 1 game is going to be good, but I definitely would love to see him play a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where we see it a lot. A lot of players got denied to play with their home countries for insurance reasons. We saw it with Mike Trout for Team USA. We saw it with Jose Alvarado getting denied to play for Venezuela. It's a thing where, yes, the WBC is cool, it's awesome, but there's a reason that spring training exists. It's to ramp up the players. When you throw them immediately in a high-level environment, injuries can happen.
Yeah, it's not common to see in baseball this type of issue. I mean, it's very common in soccer when you have international and club soccer. Even in basketball a little bit. And now, recently, we just saw the Olympics, and they just talked about hockey, of having to still play for your nation, but be careful because you can't risk the money that comes in through the clubs, right? So it's very interesting, but I'm super excited still regardless of who's playing, what stars are playing, because just something about playing for your nationality, for your nation, for your country is huge. Like I just said, we saw in hockey, see in soccer all the time, the World Cup is this year. I'm super excited because we're getting the World Baseball Classic and then the World Cup in 1 year. That's great. Yeah, I'm super excited to see these players play for their countries. And what team for you stands out as the favorite?
I think you have to lean Team USA. They're running back. They got Bryce Harper back. They got Gunnar Henderson, Caleb
Vegas
Durbin.
local, actually.
Vegas local Bryce Harper, yeah. Kyle Schwarber is back. Aaron Judge, Captain America, is there. Of course,
Captain right there.
Yeah, it's tough because Japan, they won it last time. They got Ohtani, they got Sasaki Yamamoto. Obviously, they're going to be one of the favorites. Then you got the Dominican with Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor. That's also crazy. Let me not understate them. But I think with the run that maybe the hockey team, the nationality, just had for Team USA, maybe that translates a little to the WBC, Team USA? I don't know. What do you think?
Possibly. What about you?
I think I'm going with the USA this year just because, these players, a lot of them are, they're getting old. So I think that especially like Bryce Harper, I think he's going to want to go get one. I think a lot of these players overall could go get one, but also because we're gonna get to see a great pitching battle between Japan and the USA, because you have Paul Skeens on the mound. Like, we're gonna see not Schwarber. We're gonna see Scooble throw one game, and then we're gonna see all these pitchers, because it's just gonna be a great battle between one another. But also, we've seen a lot of Japan. We've seen, like, Yamamoto's gonna have a great time, of course, but Sasaki, he didn't have a great last season, so maybe it'll reflect, and maybe it won't be as good as. Hopefully, his game doesn't translate to the WBC, so the U.S. can have a free win.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of USA here, and I cannot deny that something about Americans when they go to play for this country, they bring in the Avengers level squad. I mean, we saw it with basketball in the Olympics, and now hockey. They just finally made the big upset, and now baseball is coming. And I feel like this is what was being said last time, though. And then, yeah, they made the finals, lost to Japan. But I haven't heard a country that I think a lot of people underestimated last time, and a lot of people are going to go and underestimating again. And that's Mexico, man. Come on. Look. Stupid.
Randy Arozarena jersey.
Arozarena, man.
You ain't never worn that.
Come on, dude. Last time I remember, they beat Mexico. I mean, sorry. Mexico beat the U.S. twice, maybe.
Maybe, but
we got to put some respect on the Mexicans when it comes to baseball. Everyone thinks,
Give me 3 players. Give me 3 players on the Mexican team.
Bro, Randy Arozarena. Urias cannot play anymore because of some controversies. I know that. We have someone who just went to the World Series. Remind me his name.
Alejandro Kirk.
Alejandro Kirk.
Yep.
Right.
He's tough.
Taiwan Walker.
They have a solid team, and I don't think they should be underestimated. As favorites, no. I think, to me, Japan is still the favorite. You can't deny Shohei Ohtani's talent, and the rest of them too. Like, that's a talented squad, and they're probably gonna win again if we're being honest. But yeah, I can't completely disagree with you guys on the USA, but just don't count out Mexico. They upset multiple times last tournament. I think they're gonna do it again.
That is the beautiful thing about this type of tournament, is that it's one game. If you're not feeling right one game, your team is out.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the beauty of it, is that a team like Mexico maybe goes on a run, little Cinderella run, and maybe beats a USA or beats a Japan or something like that. They could absolutely make it. And of course, they got MLB talent on their team. Any team with MLB talent is an immediate threat.
I think another great squad that we're also underestimating as well is going to be, like you guys said, the Dominican team, because they have great players over there with, Juan Soto. He didn't have the best season, but Juan Soto is going to always be a tremendous hitter no matter what pitch is coming at him. But also just that squad as a whole, because they also have, correct me if I'm wrong, Fernando
Tatis, I believe so.
I'm pretty sure he's the Dominican squad.
Yeah.
But overall, they have a great squad and a great team over there. And also, I love how they have a great outfield and a great infield. But I think the thing that hurts them is their pitching.
I'm not quite sure about that, because they got Christopher Sanchez, who was second in National League Cy Young voting last year. He's playing for the Dominican this year. I believe they still got Edwin Diaz. He's still pitching for them.
Yeah, but is Edwin Diaz the same Edwin Diaz, though?
Of course he's the same Edwin Diaz. He signed with the Dodgers. No Dodgers player can be bad, apparently. So
Yeah.
That's true, but they come out of nowhere.
That's my team. But
You're a fake Dodgers.
I know I've been talking a lot about other sports, and that's because obviously I'm not the most knowledgeable in baseball. But when we see world tournaments like the World Cup, they're usually played in one country, or recently now countries near each other. This one's going to be played in Tokyo, San Juan, and 2 American cities, Miami and
Texas. I'm pretty
Texas,
sure.
right? Houston. So how do you think that's going to play?
Puerto Rico!
How do you think that's going to play into the dynamics of this tournament? I think this is the first time we've ever seen something like this.
yeah, and last year it was held in Miami for the most part, and I think it's definitely going to be a factor because jet lag, especially from Tokyo to Houston. That is literally other side of the planet. It's definitely going to affect a lot of the players, especially. Maybe the Americans are a little more used to it because they go across the country during the MLB season.
Yeah.
But no matter what, it's still going to be like you're playing at 3 a.m. or something like that. It's crazy.
But it also brings in the idea of home games. Like now the American players get to play in the U.S., Japan, and Tokyo. Do you think that's going to have a factor? I mean, you could consider Houston a home game for Mexico. So, right, do you think that's going to play a huge factor in this tournament?
I actually kind of do think that it'll play a factor, of course, Because at the end of the day, these players play for the fans. They play for the fans and their fan bases. And also, whenever it comes to like the countries, bro, every country shows out for their squad no matter what. Like for the USA, they always come out in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Mexico will always come out and support.
They come out with these crazy colors too. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the jersey yet. I think Mexico has like this pink cherry blossom color
Yeah,
that kind
I
of looks like
don't
a
know.
Japanese style. So I'm excited. But
Then, like, at the same time, like, Japan, they'll still come out, of course. And I feel like that's also another thing that I don't know, because it's crazy to think, because think about it. If a fan is in Japan, I don't know if they'll get an automatic flight because they lose or win. You don't know how it is with the one game, if they'll take that next flight just to follow with the team. So I don't know how that'll play out, and I really don't know how that'll not just affect the game, but overall just affect the fan bases traveling around the world. Because I definitely don't believe that somebody from Houston's going all the ways to Japan or all the ways to San Juan.
I hear you. Well, it sounds like we have 2 USA fans here, 1 Mexico. But we'll see in March next week. Back to you, Maya.
Thank you to our baseball experts, but who's been tuned into the NBA? Well, if you haven't, the Toronto Raptors have had an incredible season. Well, compared to last season, it's been amazing. All thanks to drafting correctly. Young guys mixed with veterans and a front office who made some good moves for the team. Some notable players are Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Grady Dick. But also, ever since Kevin Durant left the Suns, they've been good too. And I don't know about you, but there might be a small correlation there. I'm going to let our basketball experts tell you more about this. Whit, Chris, and Marcellus, please take it away.
Thanks, Maya. On this edition of The Huddle, we're going to be talking about, the rise of the Toronto Raptors. Last season picked in the lottery with Colin Murray-Boyles. And now this season find themselves at the 5 spot in the Eastern Conference. Don't think a lot of people were expecting that. Chris, let's start with you. What have you seen from the Raptors this season that really has led to this rise?
I mean, they've had a good group of young players for a while now, but the individual I feel is really driving their success is obviously Brandon Ingram and his overall game. Brandon Ingram is a player that coming out of college was always a highly touted player, very talented player. I've heard a lot of people compare him to Kevin Durant. When he was first coming out of school, I didn't see that. But ever since he's been with Toronto and he's been able to be healthy is the thing that I feel has made them like a contender pretty much now this year.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce off what Chris said. Yeah, Brandon Ingram, he's been playing well this season, averaging 22 points. We also got to talk about Scotty Barnes, who's been good not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. Obviously, he's averaging around 19, 20 points, 8 rebounds. He's a really good anchor for that team. And we also got to talk about Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly, last 13 games, he's been averaging 20 points. He's really been showing like he can really help out the squad and really bring them up in the standings.
To kind of go off your Scotty Barnes point, I feel like as soon as they stopped relying on him as the number 1 option in previous years and brought in another scorer like Brandon Ingram, you've seen this team fly off the charts. And I think it's, due to the Raptors, I feel like, have always had a pretty good front office. And so building guys in the draft like Scotty Barnes and Grady Dick and Colin Murray-Boyles, who has yet to see real action time in Toronto, mixed with the veteran presence of R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram, I just think that they really have done a great job. And would you guys put this team on par with the team of the Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan area? Chris, what do you think?
I mean, that's not the team that won a title. The team that this squad has to get compared to has to be the Raptors squad that won a title with
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi, and what's the guy's name that got sent to Indiana? Siakam. That's the squad that this group exactly. That's the squad that this group has to be compared to, because they won a title. So their standard, this club's standard, has to be title contention. And I mean, they've got a great squad. They're developing a great talented group, but a title for this squad this year at fifth in the standings, I don't think that they're going to be a contender for a title this year in the Eastern Conference.
But do you see them on par with, the Kyle Lowry and the DeMar DeRozan-led Raptors in, the late 2010s, who were always hovering around, the third, fourth seed? So you see them right there?
And then they would get spanked by LeBron and them. So we don't want to compare this Raptors squad to those teams at all, because as good as they were, they would always get vanquished in the playoffs by LeBron James. So that's not something that they want to go with. That's not something they want to repeat. They want to set a new precedent with this Raptors squad.
Well, I think they're off to a great start, So this season is really the season where they got to blossom. Brandon Ingram is really a talented scorer. Scotty Barnes can play on both ends of the floor. And you also have the other players like Grady Dick as well coming in, having those quality minutes for the team. I think if they keep being consistent throughout the years, I think obviously they're going to be in playoff contention this year, but I don't see them going, so far into the contention for the playoffs. But I think if they keep being consistent, keep playing well together, I think they can finally reach that point to where DeMar and Kyle Lowry were at, in the playoffs every year.
And speaking of more unexpected kind of risers in playoff teams, we have the Suns, who picked in the lottery last year, traded their star in Kevin Durant, still have D-Book, but find themselves 7th in the standings, which I think a lot of people were like, hey, this team is going to be a team that's going to tank. They just got Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks. Marcellus, we'll start with you on where you saw the Suns in the preseason and then where you think their future will be come the offseason or come the title season.
Yeah, so when I saw the Suns in the preseason, I thought they were just going to tank, find good quality players. But they actually surprised me this season. Obviously, you have Devin Booker coming back. He does what Devin Booker does. Grayson Allen coming in, scoring 15 points a game. And Dillon Brooks. Even Dillon Brooks, he's not the most loved player in the league, but he really came in to the Phoenix Suns contributing and scoring 20 points a game. So I think the players on the Phoenix Suns really surprised me this season, stepping up and getting up in the standings.
Absolutely, Chris.
So yeah, the Suns, I mean, the reason why they're doing well this year is because of the menace that Dillon Brooks is. He is an absolute nightmare on the court for anybody that has to play against him, and he has put the work in. He's improved his game across the board statistically in pretty much every category that matters. He's shooting a higher percentage from three this year. He has a career high in percentage from three this year, and that's significant because he obviously has to take way more shots now. So players like Dillon Brooks really coming into his own, really coming out of his shell offensively, as well as another highly hated player by myself, Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
He's another great player that's just a menace to play against. Mm-hmm. He's just super tough to play against. You might roll an ankle playing against playing against this guy. But players like those are the players that you need on your team to win games. So this is I think Dillon Brooks and Grayson Allen are the reason why the Suns have improved mightily this year.
So going over to the flip side to H-Town, KD joins already a stacked Rocket team. They have to, give up Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. Still retain that young core of Şengün and Jabari Smith. What have you seen from them this year? And I think we talked about it at first of the show. People thought they were going to come in and dethrone the Thunder. I personally said no. What is your take on how they've done this season? Not quite top of the West, but around that 2-3 range.
They're going to be a tough out come playoff time for any other playoff team. I don't know if I could see them competing with OKC in a playoff series. The only team I really see competing with OKC is the Spurs. Mm-hmm. The Rockets, on the other hand, The Rockets are again still going to be a super tough out. They have a lot of super young talent. Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson is a monster. And the thing about the Rockets is that nobody on their starting five is like under 6'4". So defensively, they're really, really, really tough to deal with. So again, come playoff time, they're going to be a super tough out. I think that they're right around 4th in the West this year, and they're going to be a tough out come playoff time.
Yeah, Marcellus?
Yeah, so I think for the Houston Rockets coming in, having Kevin Durant come in is always chemistry. Like, we know the skilled players are there, but having Kevin Durant, you kind of got to move your roster into a way where he fits perfectly. And I think that takes time. I think they finally got their groove, just later into the season. But I think they're really good. I think they're good defensively. Offensively, they got pieces. I think they can make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, so for more unexpected teams, come back next week on this edition of the NBA Huddle. So until then, sending it back over to you, Maya.
Well, dang, was that a great episode or what? I know I had fun. And thank you to everyone who tuned into today's episode. And thank you to our experts who took the time to spit some ball knowledge. As always, I'm your host, Maya Perez, and this is The Huddle. Make sure to follow our socials and have an amazing weekend. See you next week for another episode of your favorite sports show. Bye.